Hi everyone, Mike here. Finally with you guys once again. I started this series much earlier because I wanted to do it late last year, but because I've been sick, I've been coughing since December of last year. I had to put this off longer than I wanted to. You already seen my PSVR game collection, so now we're going to continue on my PS4 game collection, and in the future we'll look at my Xbox One games. Now I'm not gonna show my last gen games, except the ones that are on my Xbox One, because I haven't bought any last gen games. So if you want to know what my last gen games are, look at previous game collection videos on my channel. And I'm also doing things with the screen rather than showing my disc and my digital downloads, where I can just show everything at once because everything gets downloaded anyway. So let's continue with the series. Detroit Become Human is the only game I can think of that I've beaten in a day that was long. Like, I mean, I've beaten games like Gone Home and The Park in a day, but those were really short games. But this is a long one, and I beat it in one day. And it's more David Cage. If you like David Cage, you're gonna like this game. Spider-Man is a game that Alex has beaten, that I have not. Bloodborne is... it looks like a Souls game when you watch it, but when you play it, it feels more like a horror game. There's some real creepy atmosphere to it. The enemies, the bosses may not be as huge for the most part, but the atmosphere definitely makes up for it. This is Injustice, the first game, and I played this and the second game, and I enjoyed them both. Arkham Knight is considered the weakest in the trilogy because Paul Dini was not involved, and when I heard that Paul Dini was not involved, I was like, I bet you the story is going to suffer for it, and according to popular opinion, it did. But there are aspects of the story that I thought were phenomenal. Unfortunately, I can't share them with you in case you haven't played it yet. But you should play this. The annoying target, I think, part for me and for a lot of people is the forced Batmobile sections, and the fact that you have to do every single thing in the game to get the ending of it. But definitely play through the main story if you can, and some of the side quests. Mass Effect Andromeda. I have a love and hate relationship with Mass Effect Andromeda. When it plays like a Mass Effect game, it's phenomenal. The problem is that I'm trying to hold this straight and I can't. The problem with Andromeda is when it tries to be other things, like Uncharted, it fails miserably. So, yeah. Definitely the worst in the series, but still had some very high moments, but unfortunately it had way too many low moments as well. Tomb Raider was easy at first, but it eventually got too hard. Shadow of the Colossus, too hard, and this is not a game for people with low patience tolerance, because the controls are very difficult to manage. However, the story and the presentation and everything else is a masterpiece. I did not think I was going to beat this game, but I did, and I beat it in a few days. Some hard part, it got a little too difficult in the end, towards the end, a little bit, but it's still a really good game. Okay, I really am trying to hold this straight, but it's hurting my hand. And this is Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. Pardon my cough, it still has not gone away. God damn it. Anyways, I played through the first game without any medication and raged on it. But then I played games 2 and 3 on medication, and it was so much better. Definitely recommend this. No multiplayer, but who cares? This one does have multiplayer, but again, I play for the single player, and it is a solid finale to Nathan Drake's story. It is more, where the other games are more action-y and more shooters with platforming elements, this is more of a puzzle platformer with brief shooting sections. I actually completed this game finally. I watched the story on YouTube, but I did go through and actually complete the game last year, and it was worth doing. And I didn't think I was going to be able to. I thought it was going to be too hard, But nope, I made it through. This is a Oscar drama type of gritty survival drama with horror elements. Not a horror game. Still a phenomenal one. Horizon, I started to play it, got too hard, and then they introduced narrative. So I was able to complete it finally. I did as much as I could. There were little tasks that are too hard for me, but to complete. But I was able to do almost everything here, and I definitely recommend this game. The character starts out pretty interesting, but when she grows up, she kind of loses personality. But the world is interesting. The lore was predictable. Like, I knew what it was going to be, but it was still awesome. It was something that I was looking forward to, and I got. Bioshock 1 and 2. Bioshock 1, it's definitely better. Bioshock 2, I think, focused too much on combat, and I think Bioshock 2 kind of missed the point of what a Bioshock game was supposed to be. But Bioshock 1 is a phenomenal exploration game that has combat elements, but they're not the main focus, unlike Bioshock 2. Bioshock Infinite. In my opinion, I liked it as much as Bioshock 1. Now, most people prefer the first game, but I enjoy both of these equally. And the DLC for Infinite is to me, the true conclusion to the Bioshock series. And it bridges the gap between this and the original Bioshock. And finally, Fallout 4. Since you can enter mods on console, I'm able to play it without dying, and it makes the game better. Because I suck. Anyways, that is it for my disc-based PS4 games. More PS4 games are on the way. Stay tuned. Okay, I can't turn this off.